it is illegal to milk someone else's cow. So cancel our plans.
Okay, yeah, so we can't go to Texas.
Yeah.
We're going to push it over, then we're going to milk it.
Yeah, you just see these shadows in at like nighttime, and it's us
just
like creeping up towards the cow, and this flashlight just goes click onto us, and he's like, "Hold on a minute, you two," and he's like, "That's not a milk cow."
Yeah, he just points a gun at us. He's like, "Are you here to tip it or milk it?" And we look at each other. We're like, "Tip
what
it."
Gets this? What he's like? Oh, okay then.
No, that's fine.
And then just goes back.
Away.
Oh man. And then his wife inside is like, "Did you shoot him?" And he's just like, "It was just some gators."
But they were just some gator. And then he comes back the next morning, he goes to milk his cow, and he notices it's empty. He's like, "Wait, son of a..."
I've been had.
And we're just running with these like pails of milk.
Half sloshed out, just empty.
Sloshed.
And then we just fall down the hill.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Banter Gravy 2.
Do you want to tell them or should I? Okay, so Jack Trip won't
Did
let
you
us
decide
into the
to...
other one. But we would like to let you into our lives by you clicking like and follow wherever you listen to and giving us a 5-star review.
We're reporting to you from Dublin now.
Yeah.
They don't care about this, but we always have about, 60, 70 hours of technical things to work through before we start this.
Yeah.
So today we're good and salty.
We actually start on Sundays, but we don't end up recording until Mondays. When Garrett says Dublin, he means Dublin, Ohio. So in order for us to get like the frequency range, we usually go through Columbus, Ohio, because that's just where it's located. And Garrett's like, "You want to go through Dublin?" I'm like, "Ireland?
Why would we go to Ireland?"
Like, why would we go to Ireland?
I just felt like getting fighty.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here now, and I'm here with Clop, so it's the same same old banter, same old horseplay.
Yeah, I don't think there it is, and you now have to. My word!
Now that we're on video, I can show everybody Clop, and they don't have to wonder what he looks like.
Why doesn't Clop have an origin story? This is us jumping the shark. This is us jumping the shark.
This is Clop. He's a horse. He's a head. A horse head on a stick.
Okay.
He doesn't usually talk.
Yeah, in medieval times, we'd call that sending a message.
Yeah. Hello, Banter Biscuits. I'm here against my will.
Okay, so this is the last episode. This is it.
You're sending a message.
This is me. I meant message like they put people's heads on spikes.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were saying like he wants to send everybody a message for help.
You are so innocent.
So, how you doing, bro?
I was doing well until when my wife was leaving this morning, because it's today as we're recording. It's President's Day. And my wife was
it
like,
is? That's great. No wonder I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
Everyone is so upset right now.
You would think, especially nowadays. My wife, before she leaves, she's like, "I know this is the last thing you want to hear, but we need one more door painted."
And did you tell her no?
I am too afraid to do that. So I just looked at her. I said, I said, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So it gets you off the hook, but it doesn't actually appease her.
No. So now we're both just unhappy. So you'll see the door behind me is now a lot wider.
Yeah.
Because I decided to do it because I value my life.
I just log in and there's all these latches and hooks in the door, and like just like a man standing there with like his arms crossed like a club bouncer.
Yeah. He's like, "You here for Banter Gravy?" "No, sir. I'm here for Banter Gravy 2.
Yeah. We're finally healthy, all of us.
Like me and you, or you and your family?
No, me and my family.
Oh, okay.
You're always healthy. Everybody knows that.
I was not, but now I am very much so, thank God.
Yeah. We were at Kalahari recently, and we were finally feeling good, and my parents text us from time to time.
That's nice. Mine don't. Go ahead.
Yeah. And they knew that we were going through a flu spell, and Al recently has thrown up in our bed.
We talked about that last
Yeah.
episode. Wasn't
So
sure if I wanted to publish that, but here we
They
are.
they texted us and they were like, "Everybody healthy?" And I looked over and I saw Graham just going like this on the bed. um, and then I turned over and I was like, "Yeah." And then I turned over this way and Audrey, and this really happened. This was like completely real. She's holding an avocado and she took a bite out of it like an apple.
Oh my gosh, man.
Like peeled the skin
What
back and she was like,
okay.
and then I looked down at my phone and I was like, "Yep, back to normal."
I think so. And it's like, where's Al? And you hear a thump on the roof.
Yeah.
Yep, nope, everything's fine.
Yep, no, we're good now.
Yeah, we're good.
This morning, we play this game where we knock on each other's hands. Me and Elle, when she's sitting on my lap, I go like this, and she goes knock knock, and then I open it, and there's either like people inside.
Wait, what do you? Oh, like fingers?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I pictured like little drawings of her crushing people. Like there's people inside my hand. It's like, oh, okay.
Surprise, they're dead.
Oh gosh. And you just hear a speed dial going to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
and you pick up the phone. They're like, "Wendy's Mason, how can I help you?" You're like, "Oh, thank God, I'll take one Baconator."
Yeah.
Sir, this is
well,
a
we were
Wendy's.
dead inside, but now we're looking forward to chili.
Yeah.
So I knocked on her. She was like, "Daddy," and she holds it up like this, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And I'm like, "Knock, knock," and then she opens, and she's just like, "Cheese," and there was shreds of cheese inside that fell all over the
legit?
cushion.
She just had cheese in her.
Yeah, and then a bunch of shreds of cheese fall out on the floor, and I'm like,
You go and you knock on her hand. You're like, "Knock, knock." She's like, "Knock, knock." You're like, "Who's there?" She's like, "Rat poison."
yeah.
And just blows it in your face. And
Like,
you're just like, "Oh God."
Just cuts to a shot of me in an ambulance with a mask on my face.
My girl is so creative.
Yeah. And they just turn to her, and she's just inserting a syringe into my arm.
Yeah. She's like, "Quit screaming."
So I'm like, "You're so cute." And then I just proceed to sweep it up in the dustbin. Yeah. So anyway, we're good. And you're still painting?
I think we are done for a while. So
Okay.
we just
Until you change the colors of your house again.
Oh no, we signed a
5 years from
we
now.
signed a contract this time.
Wasn't it 2 years? You're going to give it a 2-year extension?
2-year extension. So
Yeah.
we've done the living room twice. We did the guest bedroom once, the office once, our own bedroom once, and we did the upstairs hallway. And my wife is now depleted of all money to go towards it. But there is a fund in our budget that allots it, but it's going to take a little bit for it to build back up to where she has me working every weekend. So I'm feeling pretty good, dude. I look around and I'm like, sweet, there are doorknobs on every door in the house again. It only took 3 months.
You have exactly 2 years to have one child if you don't want to paint the house again.
You just hear my phone ring. They're like, "Is this Seth Meyers?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do not say another word. You have exactly 2 years to have a child." And you just hear the 24 countdown in the background. And it's like, and I'm just looking around. Yeah.
Beep. Beep.
Yeah. Just looking around like, okay.
Jack Bauer just kicks down the door. He's like, "Where are you going on your honeymoon?"
And I just look at him. I'm like, Kiefer Sutherland. And then he just sits down. He's like, "Yeah, it's been real rough filming lately."
Yeah. We're in season 28. Nobody even noticed.
Yeah, we're on episode 42 and everybody's noticed.
I was thinking, Shelby comes through the doors. She comes home one day, and it's exactly 2 years away from now, after you close up the paint shop. And she comes in with 2 paint cans, like on either side. And she's like, "It's been 2 years, huh?" Oh, and she looks down, and you just have a baby in a car seat.
Yeah, it's like,
and you're like, "We have bigger problems than paint."
we have bigger problems. And it just coughs up everything. And you're just like,
The car keys.
yeah, the car keys, just coughs up the car keys. Like, I was wondering where those went. Yeah, so we're super stoked. She's really relieved too. We're just really relieved that it's over. We have some plans and ambitions for like the downstairs bathroom and the doors, and then eventually the kitchen. But I think it's going to be at least a month. So we're kind of just relaxing now, thank God. I think the next thing we're doing is that there's the shelving units that go inside of our closets. And Shelby's like, well, I'm not sure I really want to hang those back up. I'm like, why? It's like free storage. Like you get more storage space. She's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the way they look in the rooms. And then like we continue our conversation. Then she's like, well, I wonder where we're going to put all this stuff now that, we're done with everything. I'm like, on the racks.
I wonder what we could fix that.
On the racks.
She's like, I would, except I don't feel like it.
Yeah. So she acquiesced, and now we're going to hang up the racks. Thank God. So,
dude, I'm praying to God for you that what happens normally doesn't happen, which is that things are going to start breaking.
Oh no,
the
they
second you start making mortgage payments.
Once, we are already making them. So once we eventually get the spring thaw, I'm definitely anticipating a bunch of things going wrong. We just found out, and it was really ominous looking. So like our whole backyard's covered in snow, except for this river that runs back through it.
Oh my gosh.
And the weird thing about it is that we're in the middle of a subdivision and no river runs through the subdivision.
Yeah.
So there's this creek that just goes in our backyard because like both like the back part of the backyard and the front part come down like a V like that. And then running through it's this, when it gets a lot of water, it's just this creek that just goes through onto the sidewalk. And I'm just like, wow, that looks beautiful. That's probably going to cause us some issues this spring. So yeah.
You're both out by the creek and you're like, this is nice. And you're holding hands and you're like, and then you turn back and your house has that like spout of water coming out of the roof and the toilet's just on top of it going,
and it's like, honey, look, it's the bridge to Tabithia.
It's Old Faithful.
Yeah. Just don't cross it on your own because that movie was tragic and no one knew it was coming and it devastated a lot of kids.
I just remember there was a little girl and I felt $8 poorer after we left the theater.
Yeah, she drowned in that movie off screen. They're like, your friend's dead. She drowned in the river. And you're just like, what the heck?
I don't remember what happened, but now I know why, because it was too tragic.
Yeah.
To store away.
I was just like, what was that movie that Macaulay Culkin drowned into? Or he didn't drown.
Oh.
No. The police just come and they're arresting the burglars and they're like, where's Kevin? Oh yeah, he drowned.
They're like, we took care of it.
Yeah.
This is a real movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video on YouTube?
Realistic
that's like,
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, you'll never catch me. And they just shoot him.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, let's rob this place.
Yeah. Like, so like, but Macaulay Culkin had a character that died in another movie too. It wasn't Richie Rich, but it was, I think, My Girl. Didn't he get stung by like a bunch of bees or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
See, like now my brain is totally in this, like, let's remember all the plot twist tragic parts of movies.
This is the sadistic part of the 90s where everybody thought you could just churn hearts over by killing people. Like what was it, Steel Magnolias or whatever with what's her name? Bette Midler, who died.
All I keep thinking is Lion King. every time we go to watch it, I'm like, is Mufasa dead? My wife's like, yeah. I'm like, sweet, I can watch this movie now. Like, I can't.
You can get through it.
I can't freaking stand the part.
It's okay. Dude. You can just be like Timon and Pumbaa, dude. Just follow my advice. Like I love how Simba gets to the nice part of Africa, wherever the heck that is, and they're just like, oh, what's that? Your dad just died? It's okay. Don't freaking worry about it.
Don't worry about anything. You should be totally apathetic from now on throughout your life.
And then he goes, okay.
Yeah. He's like, Simba's like, my dad just died. And Timon's like, uh-huh. Have you tried not talking about it?
Yeah.
Have you tried repressing it?
Have you tried walking down this log and growing up?
Yeah. I think, guys, seriously, I think I need to talk to somebody. They just give him this giant leaf full of bugs. They're like, have you tried eating this?
He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Wait. Here's a worm. And he's like, now you're talking. Yeah, I get it now.
I can dedicate the next 7 years of my life to hanging out with you guys.
Slimy and apathetic.
I love it. That's all fraternities throughout every college in America. Yeah. It's like, I have so much trauma from high school. Have you tried not worrying about it?
Yeah.
Have you tried repressing it till you're an adult?
Here's a keg.
Keg stand.
Yeah.
I never joined. I was never
in college.
Yeah, no, yeah. The 5 college and universities I've been to, Garrett, don't count.
Yeah.
I always stayed at home for college, or whenever I attended the actual place, it was just to graduate, or I'd go to a satellite campus. So, and obviously I don't drink, but I have a lot of friends who were in fraternities, and I'm just going to ask them next time, be like, so who was your Timon and Pumbaa?
Is this a bad time to tell you that I'm changing the name of our podcast to Beta Gamma?
Beta Gamma. And we tried making it Greek letters, but it's just Russian letters.
Yeah. So you know how we're naming things now, as we're just renaming things.
What do you mean, Garrett?
Yeah, the Gulf of Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Okay, pause. You know how they're trying to name Mount McKinley again? You know Mount McKinley?
Yeah.
Why, honest to God, are we just not naming it Mountain Dew?
I don't know, because we need to. You need to send a letter to the president. He'll listen to you, apparently.
Yeah.
So I did some research on the top, because I'm really interested in the states. The top states to live in.
Okay.
Here's the list that I found. Maine.
Is this going from 1 to 12 or 12 to 1?
This is all 12 of them.
Yeah, but like what order?
Actually,
like,
it's 13.
Okay, but wait, are you going from like, all right, Maine's number 12 or Maine's number 1?
I'm going from, I'm just sweeping across all of them. So the next one is New York, Vermont, Pennsylvania.
Still in the north.
Michigan, Wisconsin.
Still in the north.
Minnesota, believe it or not.
It is negative 44 wind chills today there.
I know, isn't that crazy? North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and Washington.
So
wait, Alaska's up there too.
So every state that won the Civil War or benefited from the winners of the Civil War is the top 12. Where do you have the article this was written in?
I'll send you a screenshot. Okay, here it comes. Ready? Top 12 states to live in.
Did you just send me a screenshot of the top part of the U.S.?
Yeah, it's the top ones. Alaska.
Oh,
Alaska's up there too.
My gosh, this whole thing has been this has been a pun, hasn't it?
What?
This has been a pun. You're just telling me the most northern latitude state.
Yeah, they're on the top.
I hate you. I can't. Biscuits, we cut a lot of this out. It's been 10 minutes of me just waiting for him to send me this link. You just gave me the top states latitude.
I did. That's what I said it was.
I quit.
Except for Alaska. What's wrong? It's the top 12 states.
Yeah, I hate you. I'm so upset. I'm like, why are all of these in like the northernmost borders? And now I'm thinking like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, New York.
You're keeping a list of them as like who won the Civil War.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, all these are
Alaska
north.
wasn't even a state.
I know. Well, I said won the Civil War or benefited from the winners of the Civil War. And when I put in the notes, Garrett opening shenanigans, you did not disappoint.
I did exactly what you told me to, Papa.
Wow. All I'm looking for is the thumbs up from Papa.
Yeah.
You ever seen Krunk's New Groove?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a cash
One
grab.
time. And then I went immediately back to watching The Emperor's New Groove,
which is one of the greatest Disney movies of all time. Well, Garrett, thank you so much for wasting all our time.
You're welcome. I didn't waste everybody's time. The biscuits got to miss out on me sending you, me trying to send it to you 7 times.
They got to skip right over that. All right. So, Garrett, by the time our biscuits are listening to this, Valentine's Day is already half a month away, if not more, being in the past. And my question for you is, because we're just now coming out of it,
why don't you want to dig the dagger even further down to the people who hate it?
What's the point?
I actually know something about this.
What is the point of Valentine's Day? So, like, okay, here's a little backstory for you. My students, they give Valentines to each other throughout school, and they love it.
I was getting ready for you to say, in the early Roman centuries.
Okay, so here's a little backstory, Garrett. During the Trojan War, but my students, they always love giving Valentines to each other, and I remember that being such a big deal. I remember in high school, Valentine's Day had even more weight onto it because girls who either didn't get one or blah 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 felt more devastated.
Yeah.
But now that I'm married, like. Maybe it's just because it's the way that our marriage is structured, but neither one of us care.
Yeah.
About Valentine's Day.
I wish I could say the same.
Oh.
So I think I told you this, but there's some sort of deadline I was supposed to make, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing now and go create a Valentine's present for my wife because we have nothing left in the budget this month for presents.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
So I went and I was like, what am I going to do? So I I created this journal based on questions that you can print out from the internet. That's like, where did you first meet? What do you love most about me?
Oh, goodness.
And it was 53 pages.
Oh, my gosh.
So like, I stayed until like 10 o'clock on PM that night, just writing. And I look up from my desk and I'm like, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
And then I look down and it's like, tell me how you felt the first time that you saw me. And I just look up and I'm like, I first saw you. I just kept writing. And I'm like, I have to do this. And I got home and it was one of those, where have you been?
Oh my gosh.
It was the day before Valentine's Day. And I'm just like, work.
Well,
work, hun.
Going back to what you're saying, it's like, how did I feel the moment I first saw you? Indigestion.
Yeah. You don't want to hear me go into that story.
So she was, no, I do.
Yeah.
No, I really do. So you come home and she's like, where were you? And I just picture you at clown school trying to juggle bowling pins.
Yeah, except it's a chainsaw and two fiery torches.
Oh.
Yeah, a penguin.
Can you imagine? A lot of pressure with that one, Gixel. Yeah, you're just juggling a chainsaw and two penguins.
I'm like, she's like, do not hurt that penguin.
But keep juggling.
Yeah, it just catches fire.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, so I got in trouble before the present was even done.
Okay, good. That's marriage. No, that
was one of the.
Yeah, that is. That's for
wrong.
sure, dude. Oh my gosh, you don't know.
Love
like, okay,
and
so
marriage.
There are so many times, like I'll have a surprise for her, or something done, and she doesn't know it, right? So it's not like she knows it and she's choosing to be negative. It's just she doesn't know.
You've kept it under wraps,
and I've kept it under wraps, and then she's in a bad mood. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be chipper.
Yeah.
But she, because, as we all get, my wife was, will be on a downward spiral, and I'll literally have waiting for her at home, like her favorite candy and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll get like a demand, like, and we got to paint that kitchen. I'm like, oh my gosh, just come home. I have something for you.
Yeah. It can make it all better if you would just stop making a problem and see what I've done.
Just like smell the flowers.
Yeah. I almost pulled out of my pocket or my backpack and I was like, here you go, and slammed it down on the table. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, but I just took it.
Okay.
And then, because she was up waiting for me, the
How
flowers
late
I had.
Is this? I'm picturing like 2 in the morning.
It was like 10:30.
Oh, okay.
That's but still reasonable. That's late.
That's late. That's reasonable to be mad about.
When you don't communicate, it's just, I don't blame her, but still I told her, I was like, I'm going to be staying late. But I also had to go to Walmart and buy flowers.
You buy great value flowers.
Which there was none left. We had $10 for gifts. No, it was before Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was another kind of story. I show up to the flower bin, like they put it right at the front of the store.
Yeah. And
everybody knows that you've waited, because you're there and there's no flowers left.
Sure.
And I walk up to this bin and there's all these dead, dying roses, like two other bouquets there, and the other one's like cracked in half.
And you're just like, why couldn't I have married a goth girl?
Yeah.
Those would have been perfect.
The black ones are fine. And I look over and there's this other guy, and he's just standing there, and he's just like, we just connect, and we're just like,
yeah.
We
both chose to go to Walmart at the 11th hour for this.
Yeah, but in my defense, how early was I supposed to buy flowers?
What day was
2 days early?
Was this the 12th?
The night before, yeah. No, the 13th. Yeah.
Oh, you should have had them ready the morning of the 13th. No,
but how am I supposed to buy them 2 days earlier and keep them hidden for 2 days?
You put them in a vase of water on your desk at work, and then you just bring them home.
She would have seen it.
Is she there?
Yeah, she's there a lot. It's her church.
Do you know how big that church is? You could have hit those anywhere.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Continue. Continue telling me how I screwed up by going 12 hours early and not 26 hours early.
I'm glad you gave me permission. So here's what you should have.
You've been holding this back all this time.
So the reason why I can't buy Shelby flowers is because our cats keep eating them.
Of course.
So I haven't bought my wife flowers in 4 years.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding.
That's awesome.
She's accepted it though. She's like, we can't have flowers, and I'm like, I know. And then
you're like, oh no, sorry, honey. Oh shoot.
But then she'll like tap her foot on the ground. She'll be like,
But you can't.
We can't have flowers.
Yeah.
Thinking like, oh shoot, I have to find something else now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just bring home this like bouquet of frogs. Yeah. That you were out in your pond trying to catch the night before.
They're you've just glued the lily pads the frogs are sitting on onto like just a bunch of stems. You're like, here, I hope these flowers don't jump away.
She just screams, ah! And then one of the dead, like cracked back, like his back is cracked, and he's just like almost dead. He's like, he really is a good guy. You should give him another chance.
Yeah, and then dies. Yeah. Okay, so
but the point of Valentine's Day is to exclude people. I'm glad you asked, because when you don't have anybody, and then you later in life have someone to gloat over the other people who aren't single, it feels all that much better posting things on Facebook.
So it took you 5 minutes to get to the answer of like, so anyways, Valentine's Day is all about excluding people.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it was about Saint Valentine who was killed by the Pope for getting married? No, okay. No.
So I now know why they call it the Valentine's Day Massacre. Not because a bunch of mob gangsters got killed in a back alley, but because every Valentine's Day somewhere, some man is being killed.
Yeah.
By his significant other. Yeah. Because he's just not doing enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all started with the saint. You know the guy. He the Pope was like, no one shall be married. No person who is a Orthodox minister shall be married. And then he gets married. And then the Catholic Church does what it did best.
What was that, Garrett?
Being intolerant of everybody who goes against them.
Yeah, and then
kills the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I dude, don't get me started on separation of church and state, because I'll lose my mind, man. I will. I promise.
You'll lose your ministerial credentials. That's the worst of all.
I don't have any.
I thought you worked towards them enough to get them.
No, I worked towards them, and then I'm like, you know what? I want to do something with my life that's actually going to bear fruit.
Yeah. Banter biscuits. This man sat in my office for I think it must have been a cumulative at least 6 hours working towards a ministry. What do you even call it? I guess you would call it credentials. And left all of that time right on my desk and walked straight out.
Yeah. And then I realized, I could get 175 more credits doing something worth it.
Yeah.
So
your units are sitting in Columbus, Ohio right now at the district office, just going, hello.
Yeah. I only did like 3 of them, and then I actually went to a real university.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of college credits I have, like I had like 130 something when I got my bachelor's, but then I got my master's, and now I'm going for my plus 40 postgraduate credits. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought getting those ministry credits were hard. Yeah. Like, thinking back, like, all I could have done was just take the tests.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it would have been fine.
Like, I didn't have to read anything. Like, I was going through and underlining, reading stuff. And then when I went to go actually take the test, I just was flipping through the book and doing, it's like, easy they make those tests. So like anybody, and no offense, any Assemblies of God ministers out there. Like,
there's none of us here. So.
Yeah. Like, no, no offense, but like, listen, getting your credentials is not difficult whatsoever.
It's what's difficult is getting ordained.
Yeah, the ordained
getting
part,
credentials is not hard. Getting ordained is difficult.
Sure, because you have to sit there and you have to like slightly lie your way through of trying to be like a really good person, but anybody can do that.
You have to answer the questions genuinely. That's what makes it hard.
Yeah,
and you have to wait years. Like basically you could show up and be ready, and they'd be like, "Has it been 5 years?" And you'd be like, "No," and they'd be like, "All right, see you in 5 years."
Yeah, seriously, but it's really not that hard, guys. So
the school of it wasn't, but the relationship, getting ready into a place where they'll put their stamp of approval on you is pretty hard.
So here's
I remember bringing my my classes that I took at Hillsong over here at my actual college and being like, oh, so let me get this straight. These don't count anymore. And they're like, no, don't be ridiculous. They're worth less now. You still did something.
So here's the point, Banter Biscuits. Valentine's Day isn't.
Yeah, how do we get onto credentials?
Yeah, it's just not for you.
Yeah. No, I do have to say this though. I am more careful now about posting things, because I feel like it's a little disrespectful to the people who are single, who are like, they genuinely want to have a partner. You know, to just post something on Facebook and be like, look at our love, and you don't have any. You know, that's just kind of rude.
I've always found that people who are constantly posting about their love are actually falling out of it.
Correct. Yeah. There's something else underlying.
Like if you're constantly having to post about how good your life is going, it's because you're trying to put up a front to hide the fact that it's all falling apart.
Yeah.
All the Facebook statuses I post are either about food. Actually,
nope,
that's it
about
lately.
it. Yeah,
that's it lately. Yeah.
We did post a picture of us, I think. I did posted it on Valentine, but it wasn't like, oh, we're so in love. Look at this. We're perfect. It was the moment between fighting.
Yeah, that's so true, dude.
I have to say though, we did go to a coffee house that serves food on Valentine's, and it was so cool. Just sitting there and talking, and it's a little kitschy, but it's like, you know what? Like, we had a good time, and I got to tell her how much I care about her. And
if there is a day that gives you the excuse as a married couple to actually go and try to do that, I think it's wonderful. I think what my issue with Valentine's Day is also my issue with Christmas. There is this expectation.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're doing it, man.
I can hear all of the people who were here for comedy clicking off.
Yeah, the expectation of you have
appearing
to do
happy.
this. You have to.
How much of that comes? Okay, this is getting real, and you don't have to answer this, and we can edit out later if you don't want to. How much of it has come from your family experience growing up? Okay, are you sure?
I am 100% positive.
Okay.
So here's my issue.
Right.
Here's my issue. On Christmas, you are obligated to buy gifts for people, because if you don't, it's not culturally acceptable. And on Valentine's Day, our culture has made it a priority that you have to go out and you have to do these things, even if you don't mean it, even if you don't want to. And I can't stand it. The only good holiday in this country is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Hands down. It's the only good one.
Hold on. You are forgetting about Flag Day.
Okay.
And Groundhog Day.
There are 3 good holidays in this nation. But on Thanksgiving...
Somewhere Punxsutawney Phil just went, huh?
Yeah, what? He's like eating a fish in a river and he just spits it out. I was like, huh? Yeah. Thanksgiving, man, is like you go and you sit down and you eat and you truly think about what you're thankful for and you spend time with people you love. Christmas,
you can participate in Thanksgiving, whoever you are, except if you're Canadian.
Yeah. You have Canadian Thanksgiving and you can celebrate it north of the 40th
on your own time, sir.
Yeah. But like
on your own
turf.
But
with Christmas and Valentine's Day, it's just like, no, you have to spend hundreds of dollars and not grow as a person whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it. And
it
does not come from
presents, though.
It doesn't come from my past with my family, because like, okay, fine, parents got divorced. Great. You couldn't make it work. Not my fault.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I remember
you're
growing
super
up,
well adjusted.
Yeah. Like I remember growing up in high school, people were like, I don't have a Valentine's. And then all that bull crap about Sweetest Day. Remember Sweetest Day?
No. Oh yeah.
It was like Valentine's Day 2.0.
Right.
And then Sweetest Day became a thing. And people were like, oh my gosh, no, my blah, blah, blah isn't giving me anything for Sweetest Day. And I'm just like, are we just making things? It is left pinky toenail day, everybody. You have to go buy your significant other $500 worth of gifts. But I'm going to land this plane. And by land this plane, I mean, I'm going to nosedive it into the ground. Valentine's Day sucks. And I'm a married man who we don't care much about Valentine's Day. And if you feel obligated to buy gifts or you have to go and do this thing for your spouse, you might want to check your hearts, people.
Okay, here's my side. that was the plane that hit the ground and went.
We're both just floating.
Well, I guess we're fine.
I feel like we're both just floating
flying
in parachutes as the plane like fireballs below us. We're just floating down right now from this.
I set the bar way too high the very first year.
Oh yeah.
So in Australia, when I was an immigrant.
Yeah, you were actually. Weren't you?
That has been helping my political conversations, by the way.
Yeah, you're an immigrant.
Having been an actual immigrant.
Wait, what do you mean political? Whatever, like.
Just the tumultuous time we're living in the country right now, and how everybody loves to argue for no reason.
But wasn't the whole platform anti-immigration, and yet there's an immigrant who's firing a bunch of people from government positions?
There's two sides. I won't tell you which side I ascribe to for the sake of everybody. Yeah. But having been an actual immigrant has been like, people are like, have you been an immigrant in those shoes? And I'm like, yeah. I have. But I didn't have any money.
Neither do they.
I had to impress Audrey somehow because we weren't engaged. So I didn't know what was coming.
Yeah.
So I went to the store, and in Australia they have the same thing as we have at Walmart, like Great Value. But it's like Woolworths brand.
Yeah.
And I bought all of the gingerbread in the store.
I mean, that I feel like that's the premise to every time you go to the store.
Yeah, that's just a given what I do.
Yeah, and I bought all the gingerbread that day.
I walk into Walmart and they just like wheel this like Costco cart up and they're like, "Your gingerbread, sir?"
Yeah.
So I worry that when you hear me say that, you think I bought a lot of gingerbread. No, I bought all the gingerbread in the store. And for 3.5 days, I crafted a gingerbread house.
For Valentine's Day?
An actual house, yes.
Okay.
And I wanted us to both fit in it.
like stand in the...
That was the original intent, and then I ran out of gingerbread.
Yeah?
So I just made the roof.
It's not like you're both, and no offense to little people, but it's not like you both are little people. Like you're 5.
At 8. The end of it, I made a 5.5 foot by 4.5 foot gingerbread house that we could crawl inside of, and we both could get inside with like an operating opening door. And then I put little pieces of candy in between and said, I spelled out Valentine because I didn't have enough money to buy more candy.
Question mark? Can you buy me a consonant, please?
So the very first Valentine's Day we had, I presented Audrey the morning she woke up in front of her door with an actual working, functioning gingerbread house that we could crawl inside of.
I just feel like, here's the thing. I love that story for you. All right, I do.
Do you? Because I hate it. Because the next year I had to go, well, last year.
Here's the thing. Here's my main point. Here's my thesis. If this were a paper, this is everything it's riding on right now. If your relationship takes a tailspin, nosedive, downward spiral because you didn't celebrate Valentine's Day or things like that, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to anybody. There is an issue there that is not about the holiday. And if you, and when I say you, I mean we. If we cannot go through Valentine's Day, and I think your Valentine's Day was wonderful. You spent $10. It was flowers. It was great. But if there are couples, any biscuit couples listening out there right now, and you feel like my significant other did not perform well for me on Valentine's Day and did not give me what I wanted, or it wasn't that great, you just need to check that out, because that's not what it's about. And it's so tiresome to see like couples struggling over materialistic objects and stuff like that when your wealth is defined by the people in your lives, in my opinion.
Yeah. So be like Audrey. She bought me kombucha.
It always comes back to that. All right, Garrett, hit me up with some of that gravy garnish. It has been, I don't know, man, a hot minute since we've done this. So I'm super, super stoked to see what you have come up with.
Yeah, notice that the moment we stopped doing gravy garnish is when our ratings went skyrocketing.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, thank God they're talking about things we
now
like.
We can listen.
Yeah. They just didn't do an entire 15-minute rant on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You
All right, today we're doing our first sequel.
What?
We're going back to the only place that you can greet somebody with, howdy, y'all.
Are we doing...
And it sounds completely normal.
I'm going to wait till you're done. I'm so excited.
The only place that I will eat a Frito pie. By the way, you guys call it walking tacos here in Ohio, and I think it's disgusting. And you need to reevaluate who you are as a state. The biggest, twangiest, and most ridiculous land of our land. The only state with a town bold enough to call themselves the alligator capital. That's right. Grab your firearms, your boots, because we're returning to the Lone Star State.
I am so excited we're doing Texas Part 2.
Yeah. Are you?
Yes, dude. I've been waiting for this forever, dude. Wait, okay.
Fact number 1.
Okay, but hold on. I have a problem.
Okay. Dang it. Did you guys hear that train fall completely off the tracks?
You didn't think you'd get through this without me saying wait, pause.
Yeah.
Alligator capital?
Yeah, we're going to get
state?
to it.
Isn't that Louisiana?
No, there's a town that calls themselves the alligator capital.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do
All
this.
right. Fact number 1, North America's most populous bat colony is in Texas, with an estimated 20 million plus. I hate it when people do that. Like, plus how many?
Yeah. Gosh, 20
plus
million plus.
2.
Plus 7.
What about me?
Yeah.
Shut up, Kevin. You're only half a bat.
Gosh darn it, Kevin.
Bracken Cave in San Antone is home to the largest known bat colony in all of North America. Which, doesn't that mean the world?
Say that again. Doesn't that mean what?
So is there a bat colony that's bigger somewhere outside of the United States?
Dude, I guarantee you. There's this little country called Transylvania.
Oh, that's right. Nothing bat-like has ever come out of there.
No.
Audrey and I actually visited that bat cave one time. Yeah. When we lived there.
In Texas?
Yeah. We traveled all the way to the middle of godforsaken nowhere, and we thought it was a prank. Because we were like, apparently the largest bat colonies here, and we drove all the way out there in our tiny little Hyundai Accent.
Yeah,
like just imagine us like puttering up, like, and we get out of the car and there's just a big open Texas sky and like a hole, and we're like, what the?
I honestly thought you were saying, yeah, me and Audrey visited there, Transylvania. We were actually at Dracula's castle.
I would love to go there.
And you just see like Nosferatu open up the door, and he's like bald standing there, and you're just laying there with your little nightcap and your onesie, and you're reading a book, and you put it down, and you're like, do you mind? You're letting a lot of light in here.
He opens up the door, and there's another tourist standing right there, and he's just like, I'm so excited. And then he just turns to me and he's like, aren't you excited? And I just start biting his neck.
Yeah. You would not take being trapped in Dracula's castle seriously. I feel like he'd be leaving you there while he's off to England, and you'd be like, we're running low on water bottles in here.
Yeah. We'd be standing there. And then Dracula would just be like sucking on someone's neck, and they would just fall to the floor, and I'd be like, you should try sushi.
Yeah. You'd be like, well, that's one Yelp review, Vlad, you're not getting in the positive.
Yeah. It would be that scene where it's like the building is far off in the distance and you just hear this glass shatter and this person like being thrown out the window.
Yeah. It's a castle.
And going to come back.
It's a castle. How does it have glass?
I don't know.
You just hear...
Yeah. But yeah, so we were standing there by this hole in the ground, and all of a sudden this one bat just flies out. It's just like, and we were like, I want my money back.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was just this, and there's a picture of us standing there like, ah! But yeah, so it was terrifying, dude. Just they blocked out the sun.
No doubt.
It got darker, like where we were.
Can you see why people are afraid of Batman?
Yeah, a little bit. All right, fact number 2. The state capitol building in Austin is taller than the U.S. Capitol. Isn't that the most bombastic thing to do as a state?
Wait, okay, how can it be taller than the entire cap? So it's the
U.S. Capitol building.
Oh, the U.S. Capitol building.
Yeah,
gotcha,
so Texas.
Gotcha.
So let's go through the chain of events here.
Okay.
America.
Yes. Red, white, blue.
Becomes a country.
T, harbor. Gotcha.
Texas also becomes a country. Exhibit 2.
Little later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America builds a capital for itself in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Exhibit 4. Texas goes, heck no, if you're going to build a taller capital than here.
Yeah.
And builds a taller Capitol building. That's just the most bombastic thing. The Texas Capitol building is in Austin is 15 feet taller than the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C.
At
So
least
not that much.
At least it's not petty. Like, I know there's somewhere in Japan, like, wasn't it roller coasters? Like, we used to have the tallest one, and then they released one that was 2 feet taller or something like that.
It's a 1 foot larger.
Okay.
Yeah. Fact number 3. It is illegal to milk someone else's cow. So cancel our plans.
Okay, yeah, so we can't go to Texas.
Yeah.
We're going to push it over, then we're going to milk it.
Yeah, you just see these shadows in at like nighttime, and it's us like creeping
around,
up towards the cow. And this flashlight just goes click onto us, and he's like, "Hold on a minute, you two." And he's like, "That's not a milk cow."
Yeah. He just points a gun at us. He's like, "Are you here to tip it or milk it?" And we look at each other. We're like, "Tip
what
it?"
Gets this? What? He's like, oh, "Okay then."
No, that's fine.
And then just goes back.
Away.
Oh man. And then his wife inside is like, "Did you shoot him?" And he's just like, "It was just some gators."
But they were just some gator. And then he comes back the next morning, he goes to milk his cow, and he notices it's empty. He's like, "Wait, son of a..."
I've been had.
And we're just running with these like pails of milk.
Half sloshed out, just empty.
Sloshed.
And then we just fall down the hill.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then we look at each other and we say, "Well, I guess you could say we definitely milked that situation."
Yeah. and then I like slowly get up and I'm like, Jack and Jill did it better.
Yeah, and you have like a gunshot in your leg, like a bullet wound in your leg. Oh man, Texas cutaway. That was a Texas-sized cutaway right there.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I'm still not done. Though the fine won't exceed $10, milking a cow one does not own violates the Texas Penal Code because it's considered theft of personal property.
Oh.
So you're stealing somebody's, which that makes sense, right? If you steal like a whole farm's milk, well, let's say it's 1834.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Good date. Yeah.
And you milk someone's entire cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's their livelihood.
It is.
That could be their whole livelihood. Like they were going to make butter cakes that day.
Yeah.
Now they can't.
And you want to know something interesting about that?
$10 was like a whole year's salary back then.
Yeah, this was a problem in 1834. You milked my cow, and he lives across the street from Walmart. It's just like,
oh, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Fact number 4: Palo Duro Canyon is pretty grand too. The only the Grand Canyon in Arizona is bigger than the Palo Duro Canyon. However, the 800-foot steep descent makes one of its most difficult tourist attractions.
Yeah, that's the reason?
Yeah. There's got to be some reason why no one's going down there.
Can you imagine the Civil War reenactment being the hardest, like, tourist attraction?
Yeah.
You're just, like, walking through, and there's, like, real musket balls going past your head.
Yeah. They're like, "We got him this time, Jib!" And then, like, the South is just running towards the blue uniforms, and they just, like, just skirt to the side, and all the Confederacy just falls down the side of the hill, and they're like, "We got him!"
Yeah.
So, fact number 5: Texas has an Autobahn, which I have driven on.
Oh, really?
The highest speed limit in the United States can be. Why is Texas like this?
Because they were their own republic.
Why do they have to insist on being everything the best and biggest? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know, but I love it. They're like
I do love it.
They're the antithetical California.
Yeah. Which state does the worst on purpose?
Does the worst on purpose?
Yeah. They're like, we have the smallest.
Rhode Island.
Okay. We have the smallest house of yarn here.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Sir, that's just a ball."
Yeah.
So yeah, you can drive on Texas Texas State Highway 130. It's a toll road that circumvents the highly congested Interstate 35 between Austin and San Antonio, making it faster to get from point A to point B. But the 85 mile an hour speed limit along 41 miles of the road makes it even faster. So basically, if you drive on this thing and you go 85 miles an hour, you will run out of gas twice as fast.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah. So it's fun, but it definitely is a gas guzzler. Fact number 6: the Republic of Texas was an actual country.
Yeah. They had their own constitution.
Still?
No.
No.
America came in and we burned that one and we said, "You will adopt ours."
Yeah. Between 1836 and 1845, Texas ruled itself as an independent nation and is therefore the only state in the Union to become one of the 50 United States through treaty rather than annexation.
Okay, so
that one was for you.
Yeah,
you had to have one ridiculous
I'm
one.
going to beg to differ on that, and I'm going to say Hawaii was once its own sovereign nation, and
not independent.
Yeah, it was. They had their own king and queen.
Weren't they like ruled by the French?
No.
During that time period?
I don't think so, no.
It's like Australia's technically a Commonwealth of England still.
Australia was a prison colony.
Yeah, but now it's still technically under Europe's rule or the UK's rule.
Maybe.
Even though they're a sovereign independent nation.
Hawaii, they had their own monarch and we just came in and we're just
I think they've always been run. I think Hawaii's always been overlorded by somebody.
Maybe. I'm not going to clickety clack this one, but I call shenanigans on Texas as the only sovereign nation that was brought into our own.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're not shaking in their boots.
Yeah, you mean they're lays.
Fact number 7. You can see a lock of Davy Crockett's hair when you remember the Alamo.
It's just blood all over it.
Yeah, I remember going to the Alamo, and there's this glass case with his hair, and it just says Davy Crockett. And you're just like, gross.
Yeah. You just walk to the Alamo. You're like, I know I'm supposed to remember something. Milk and bread from the store.
Yeah. No, they apparently have a lock of Davy Crockett's hair, which is like, how did you get that?
I just love that for them.
It's kind of cool, but it's kind of weird because you're standing there looking down at it and you're like, I guess they could have chosen worse things.
Yeah.
Like they kept a Pope's middle finger one time.
Yeah. Here's Davy Crockett's left arm.
And you're like, did he have an issue with you taking that? And it just cocks a shotgun.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a really interesting story. If you should, people who are interested in history should look up the story of the Alamo. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah, I know the Alamo. They were the Mexican troops, man, were brutal. Like in that scenario, like they were very, they were very brutal. But at the same time, American encroachment into Mexico was nothing to be ignored either during that time.
Right. It's not like they didn't have it coming at some point.
Yeah, it's not like Mexico is just like, nope, we're going to brutalize these people. It's like, we've given you 5 chances.
Yeah.
Cinco.
Did you know that the Mexican army tried to stop Lewis and Clark?
I did not know that.
Thomas Jefferson sends out Meriwether Lewis and William Clark on the trail, and the Mexican president was like, "You're not gonna go across my country," and then sends out this army, and then they all went to go find them to stop them from like navigating further into the interior, and then they got there and they're like, "Oh, we can't find them."
Yeah.
And they went back to the Mexican president and they're like, "We couldn't find him."
You're telling me you couldn't find 7 people in the middle of this vast woodland?
Yeah.
Nope.
Did you search every hill and valley? But yeah, I just think that's the most funniest thing ever, that the Mexican president sent an army to find them, and they came back and they were like, he's like, "Well." They were just like,
they're like, "Oh yeah, Earth's a lot bigger than we thought it was."
The end.
I'm done.
Okay.
All right, all you banter biscuits, if you guys enjoyed us ragging on Valentine's Day and giving you part 2 about the facts about Texas, please remember to click like and subscribe wherever you're listening to and give us a 5-star review. And if you guys have any topic suggestions for Banter Gravy, please feel free to email us at bantergravy@gmail.com.
All right, say goodbye, Clop. Where's my flowers?
This podcast is going down the drain.
Take care.